Welcome to Lorehammer, Episode 22, The Imperial Guard.
Hello, welcome back to Lorehammer. My name is Eric.
Hey there, I'm Mark.
Hola.
Hola.
Oh, ¿cómo está, Jordan?
Señor.
Sí.
Macucho musto panel, Diablo.
Por favor. Joining us today, Paul. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Happy to be back.
Of course.
What episode were you on with us before? I forget which.
Oh, it was Abhumans, I believe.
Oh, yes, of course.
It was the Xenos one, but technically they're not Xenos.
Yeah.
Right, it was in between our Xenos.
Either way, it was filled with filthy topics. Filthy Xenos, filthy
Very
Abhuman. Either
yes.
way, you should purge them.
Yeah, well, there's nothing good unless we're doing episodes on the Emperor, because then we could all have a good time.
Of course.
This universe. Well, if you're joining us, thank you for listening, obviously. You are listening to our 22nd episode of our regular releases. We are doing the Imperial Guard, or, to more learned folk, the Astra Militarum.
Never heard of them.
That's because you're not a learned folk. But yeah, I mean, thanks for listening. We just recently hit 10,000 downloads.
Yeah.
Which is kind of exciting for us, because
Yeah.
I never really...
Or internet famous now?
Yeah,
Well,
something like that, right? Like, at what point can you be considered...
When do we start becoming a meme? Like,
Right,
That's what I
yeah.
want to know.
I've been posted... you posted a lot more of us back in the day, but they never really took off. So I'm going to go back on it, though, because I like them. So,
Yeah.
I don't care what you guys like. But yeah, we just hit 10,000, so that's exciting for us. We're trying to think up a couple contests that we're going to do.
Yeah, just for those 3 fans that have downloaded 333 times.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Like, we appreciate your hard work.
Yeah.
You mean 3,000?
Yes. Otherwise, it would only be 999.
Yeah.
Yes.
Of course.
But yeah, I think, Mark, you had something you wanted to add.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
Just let's
Look at the notes.
look at the note right there. Let me even
Okay.
zoom in on it for you.
Oh, yeah.
We're just looking at our notes right now.
Looking at notes, unlocking
Making up on the
iPads.
fly, really.
My phone wants me to update. Should I?
I say do it now.
Update?
We can always just hold this.
Siri,
for
no.
later.
No, Siri, no.
I'm updating. I just want to give a shout out to Graham.
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 Yeah, that's how I would say it.
Graham's the name.
A couple months ago, I put like just a thing on our Lorehammer page. I'm like, hey, looking for a commie plasma. Anyone have one that could give me one? He messaged me right away. He's like, yeah, here, I'll send you one right away. So he did. But
what a champion of the people.
it was nice. It was very nice of him. And then like 2 months went by and I didn't get it. And I was so sad. Like, it was like, oh, man.
But you weren't
like,
going to tell him, right? You were just
No,
gonna
I sent him a message.
Oh,
I'm like,
okay.
hey, like I wasn't mean to him or anything, but I'm like, hey, like, I don't know if you
got
paid
lost.
for this, but you should maybe check into it. But then, like, literally, like 2 days after I sent him that message, the bit arrived.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but just want to say thank you for giving me that bit. I really appreciate it. Hope you're still listening. Otherwise, this is going out to no one.
That's okay. Combi Plasma, is that what it was?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So it was thoughtful. It was I got a free $1.25 basically.
He paid more than that in shipping.
I don't think he paid anything in shipping. That's why it took so long. It took
He
like
just
2 months.
Sends it through the regular mail.
Yeah.
Someone's opening this envelope being like, what on earth is going on? What is this?
Yeah, so that was nice.
Yeah, it's always nice when we get some interaction with our fans. If you want to send us more stuff, I accept foot pictures. I also give foot pictures.
Nobody wants either of those options to happen.
Well, you know what? I'm just putting it out there just in case. I'm not saying you have to, but I am waiting expectantly from someone. So, anyways, let's get started. We actually have a different game we're going to play today, just a really quick one. It's Would You Rather. So Mark is going to give a scenario. He's going to say, would you rather do blah, 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 or blah, blah, blah. And we're going to have to go around and say what we'd rather do. So, Mark.
First one's pretty simple.
Gotcha.
Everyone should be on the exact same page here. Would you rather hang out with Mark or Eric? It's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Jordan?
No comment.
Okay, so that's
Abstaining,
one for Mark.
abstaining. All right.
I have a question. Is there a third option? Could I hang out with Christian?
Why would you want to hang out with him?
I didn't say I wanted to. I just want to know if he's
Yes,
on the
okay.
table, so I can like put him last.
He is on the table.
Perhaps.
Yes.
Gosh, I'd probably just hang out with myself. If there was a fourth
Okay.
option.
Yeah, okay.
All right, I have an answer
Okay.
for this one.
Yeah.
I don't think you can actually hang out with yourself.
Well, not.
Right, not
I do all the
actually-
Not in
time.
a-
I know you say that, but you're
Me and the other, like, 13 other people
that's
in
what I was
my-
gonna
in
say.
my-
You
in my
actually have
mind.
the others in you.
I was
So-
sort of thinking hanging out with your wango.
Right,
But
I don't think that's what. I didn't think that's where you were hanging.
It's a different kind of hanging out.
I thought we were just hanging out. So I would have to say, since I don't think I can hang out with Eric, I would probably rather hang out with Mark.
so we have a winner then. Clearly, the vast
Yeah.
majority of the people would rather hang out with me than you.
Yeah, that seems pretty democratic process to me. So clearly,
Yeah.
in the popularity contest,
The logic makes sense.
Yeah, it's
All
all
right.
there. It's all
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I'm
Next
convinced.
question: would you rather be a loyalist or a traitor in 40K?
Paul,
Would it be like what I want to be or what I?
would you rather? What
I-
do you want to be?
Oh, I don't know. I'm probably a loyalist. Like die hard.
Okay.
Probably be a traitor.
Okay.
You traitor.
I don't think I could be like. I can't be a traitor and feel good about myself. That's what I probably would be, but I'd rather be a loyalist.
Yeah. So the good thing is, no matter what you choose in this outcome, you're all ending up dead.
Right, exactly.
So it doesn't really matter.
The outcome is
So,
inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather be a Xenos during the Great Crusade or a human during the dawn of the Dark Imperium? Which is like right when that crazy warp rip happens and, the galaxy is ripped in half. Would you rather be a Xenos during the Great Crusade
Okay.
and get annihilated? Or be a human during the dawn of the Imperium and get
Dawn of the Dark Imperium.
dawn of the Dark Imperium and get annihilated?
I'd
hard.
probably say I'd rather be the Imperium.
So you live a couple years longer,
Yes.
Yeah.
but you still end up dead.
Right, of course.
Yes.
I'm also gonna pick being a human
Okay.
during the
Okay.
Dark
So
Imperium.
you've contracted crazy Nurgle plague that has been
Yes.
spreading, and you end up
Yes.
dead.
But it's either that or get your entire species killed, your bones ground into
Yes.
dust, and shot into a dying star. I'll
Yes.
take Nurgle over that. Father Nurgle.
I'm trying to not play devil's advocate, but I'm trying to flip and say Xenos, but you guys are right. There's like nothing really good. There's no
There's
way.
good in
Like you're
40K.
yes,
None of these
yes,
questions
you're-
are going to be, would you rather be on
It's all going to end in death.
Yeah.
Paradise World?
And you would live a couple years
People.
longer if you were a human. Maybe miserably, but
Maybe there's some Xenos races they don't get to.
Yeah,
in
of
time.
course. There is
Yeah.
going to be some non-contact.
You might
race,
you
right?
might win the lottery and never.
It would be a lottery
Yeah.
chance, though.
But
You never know.
I don't know. I think I think I want to play as a Xenos. Okay, during that time because that would be.
He's
probably
rolling
a
the
lot of-
dice.
Yes, I'm going for it.
Okay. So next one. Would you rather be shot by a bolter or a las cannon? A bolter is a mini missile launcher that explodes.
It's like a radioactive one, too.
Oh, if you F off right now with that.
I
radioactive-
feel like the outcome is like
It's death.
instant death
Oh,
on
both of
either of
them.
them.
everything in 40K is death. I
Yeah,
know,
but so then why is it? Why,
It's going to be las cannon.
It's just
the correct answer is las cannon.
Instant death or agonizing
Right.
death.
So the bolter, the shell is actually not the shell, but the missile itself is gonna hit you, and then like a second after it lodges, it like breaks through your rib cage. Then it's gonna explode. Whereas the las cannon is just gonna be a flash of heat.
Yeah.
It's las cannon for me all the way. Put me
Yeah.
out of my misery. Don't even give me that 1 second of existence with a bolt gun and bolt inside me.
pretty miserable.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty miserable people. Very depressing outcomes that you've come up with.
These are your questions.
You only gave us two options.
Yeah. Would you rather die or would you rather die? Oh, geez, Mark, I think I'd rather die.
Okay.
Keep
okay.
them coming. Keep them
Next-
coming.
next
die or
one.
die.
Fine. I'll come up with something different. Next one. Would you rather be alone in a room with a Primaris Marine Reaver or a Tyrannid Hormigaunt?
Oh man, I'd be so scared if I was with a Reaver. I'd be so scared.
So scared.
So
I don't
scared.
know. Tyranids are just freaky. I may almost rather be with the Imperial guy.
With a Reaver?
Yeah.
Paul?
I'm looking up an image for Reaver for someone else.
What's the take a look at the picture, but a Reaver is meant, like, their whole purpose is that, well, not whole purpose, but a good portion of what they are is that they're meant to inspire terror inside the people that they're fighting against. So, I'm going to pick... I mean, it's not like Reavers show mercy either. But.
Oh, by the way, you're a heretic. In this.
If I'm a heretic,
Yeah,
well, then it's either death or death.
Yeah, in this situation, you're a heretic.
Well, are you
Actually,
like
wait.
like with the Tyranid? Like,
Am I chaos? Like, then the Tyranid wouldn't eat me.
It would still eat you.
I thought they don't eat things that are, like, tainted by chaos.
No, they still do.
What is it that doesn't?
Crute.
Oh.
That's right.
so if the Tyranid eats you, it could like start eating you leg first.
Oh, yeah.
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 Whereas the Reaver would just instantly
Rip off a finger,
Oh,
then another
he
finger.
would slowly
he's a,
kill you.
He's a terror.
Okay.
He's made to like disembowel people and terrorize troops.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
The Reaver. I'd rather be in the room with the Reaver.
I think me too. Yeah.
I think the Tyranid, because that's just like there's a better chance of maybe your head being devoured first, or somebody, or
please,
If you dive at it head first, you might.
yeah, like would you rather
That's
be
true,
tortured to
actually.
death by like some cartel executioner, or be eaten alive by a polar bear?
Yeah.
Right, both horrible, but I think, hey, Mother Nature's taking my life, so I'll give it to.
You're giving back.
Yeah, I'm giving back. I'm giving back to the
Your
earth.
death has a purpose.
Exactly, it's all about that.
So that's Would You Rather 40K edition. And we can all agree we would rather not play that game.
We would rather not live at 40K.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, let's get started on the Imperial Guard. So, our very first thing that we're going to discuss is the purpose of the Imperial Guard,
Yeah.
and its purpose is pretty clear.
It's the way the Imperium delivers mail.
Yes,
galactically.
it is its mail service. It is a union, obviously, because no mail service would be complete without having a completely crippling body overseeing itself.
Great hours, great benefits, even.
Right.
Good pension.
Great pension, even.
Lots of walkouts
Yep.
on this one.
Yeah. No, the Imperial Guard, their purpose is they're the main fighting branch of the Imperium of Man. They are the common foot soldier. They are, like, if we were in 40K, we're all guardsmen. We're just the common soldier that
Or
gets...
servitors.
What? Oh, yeah. You had to be a servitor because you're,
Oh,
let's say, inferior.
You could be a gun
genetically.
servitor.
that's true. I could just have lots of ammo all over me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the main military branch of the Imperium. They're trillions upon trillions of guardsmen in the universe, and each one is defending planets or sieging other ones, and they do the majority of the fighting in 40K.
Yeah. If you're seeing a military force on your planet, 99.9% of the time it's going to be an IG.
Yeah.
Or a PDF, but
Yeah.
is that not part of an IG?
No, PDF is technically it's separate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, PDF, everyone, is Planetary Defense Force.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I
So
thought it was a document. Okay.
if you're
I
if you're
get it.
seeing if there's a military presence around you, it's going to be the IG.
Yeah.
You will never see a Space Marine in your life.
Yeah.
Like 1 out of a
Yeah.
trillion is going to see a Space Marine. So people just understand this is the fighting force of the Imperium.
Yeah.
And that's what really shocked me when I first began understanding and reading about the Imperial Guard, was because I thought the Space Marines are the most dominant, the largest force in the Imperium, but that's not the case. There's only just a handful of them.
Yeah.
Right, and the rest are just normal people fighting, and it really changed my way of how the Empire worked and how the whole game aspect of it was.
And this is just my opinion, but if you were to pit the Imperial Guard against the Space Marines,
Like the entire guard versus
the
all
entire
Space
Guard
Marines?
versus the Space Marines, I'd say the entire Guard would win. There's trillions of them. There's only 1 million Marines. There's trillions of individual foot soldiers, not to count all their tanks. They have legions of thousands of tanks.
It could be an interesting thing to try and math out and see.
Yeah.
Sure,
what it would be worth.
obviously you can never put a number to it because we don't know
Yeah.
the numbers of the Imperial Guard, which Games Workshop has specifically stated. You cannot count that.
Yeah, there's too much
Don't
flux.
remember.
How many are dying at the rate
Yeah.
of how many are joining? You could never actually know, right? So that would be an interesting thought, though.
But
Could you even put them all on one planet?
no. But like, so here's the thing. So you have 1 million Space Marines, and it says like for every 1 Space Marine that you get, it's like 1,000 regular citizens or something like that. Like for every, like there's some quote like that some Imperial Guard commander is famous for saying. He's like, give me 1,000 Imperial Guard or give me 1 Space Marine.
Right, yeah,
or something
I've
like
read
that.
that quote before.
Yeah. So it's like, even if you had 1,000 Imperial Guard to 1 Space Marine, it's only 1 billion Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
And there's trillions.
Yeah, there's way more than
like,
that.
This is the fighting. This is what is keeping humanity from
Safe.
falling to chaos.
These are the lives that are being sacrificed for your safety.
Yes, dear Imperial citizen.
Rest easy, knowing that their blood is flowing in your place. And that is their purpose. Their origin story, to be extremely brief, is
It is pretty brief, though. Really.
Yeah, well, but like, there's a lot that they contributed to, like, over the course of like those like 5,000 years after the Horus
sure.
Heresy.
Well, yeah,
But
sure.
They like literally just split out of the Imperial Army.
Yeah, it's called the
what it is.
Imperial Army. During the Great Crusade, there was really 2 branches of the Imperium that were fighting. I guess 3 if you include the Mechanicum, but we're
They're
not
not
gonna.
really,
So you have the 2 branches. You got the Space Marine Legions, and then you got the Imperial Army. And the Imperial Army consisted of everything that was
Everything
not
human.
a Space Marine.
Yeah.
So this included warships, like huge, like spacefaring ships.
Yeah.
It included the individual foot soldier.
And all like the tanks and everything in
Yeah.
between, right? So after the Horus Heresy, like at the same time that Roboute is writing his codex for Space Marines, he's also saying that the army is no longer allowed to control everything. So they split it up to the Imperial Navy and the Imperial Guard. And the purpose of that is now that if you have a fighting force like your Imperial Guard, a ship is no longer, they can no longer force a ship to take it from planet to planet. So, and then if you have a ship that goes chaos, they no longer have the manpower to go take over planets because they are missing their guard aspect.
Yeah, it's that
So
check to make sure that
it's a split of the command. So you both have to work together. So if a guard and a navy both fell to chaos, well then they've got both.
Yeah.
But at that point, someone's
it's that
stepping
check to make sure not if but when people fall to chaos that it's can be dealt with.
Right, yeah. And it'll take a little longer. It won't be as easy for them to corrupt everything.
Yeah. So, and then, that happened around M31, that it split into the actual Imperial Guard that we know today. And then for the past 10,000 years, they've just been defending humanity. Like, there's countless of battles. Like, each day, billions of guardsmen die. Like,
It's a lot.
it's one more than would be a number that I can say.
That's like one of those sentences that you just have to read over and over again because you're like, I think it makes
you
sense, but
think it
does it?
It's like when
know.
you're on your
Astounding.
phone and you're pressing like that like sentence.
Oh, the middle thing.
I
like,
think that when I'd like to eat the... yeah.
All right, so now let's go through kind of like the structure in where the Imperial Guards stand in the Imperium. So they actually exist right under the Adeptus Administratum. So I can't remember exactly where the Administratum exists, but
They're like at the top. Like
Yeah.
it goes like the Emperor, then like the High Lords.
Then the
it'd be...
Administratum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty high up there, but it makes sense because they're not like, they don't have anything to do with planets. They have to do with humanity.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where their higher up makes more sense because they don't care about any of the other day-to-day stuff of the Imperium. They just care about humanity as a whole. And their entire leader guy is called Lord Commander Militant.
Yeah.
Lord
so,
General Militant?
Lord Commander. And he actually... Like, there's kind of 3 levels of the Imperial Guard, like, structure. There's, like, the High Command.
Okay, sure.
Which is what we're gonna get into. Then there's General Staff, and then below that you have like Regimental, I believe it's called.
Okay.
I can't find it in my notes, but yeah. So the High Command is like the highest organization, and there's not a lot of High Command people. So the very first one, like Eric said, is the Lord Commander Militant, And this is like the leader of the Imperial Guard. He has like a seat on the High Lords of Terra. And basically he will make the decisions of like, not really like send 10 guys this way, but like he's like, this is an important war zone.
Right.
This is
yes, he's making the priority list and sending it out to all the other guys, and then they get to determine how they're gonna like take the thing. Right.
Yeah.
I'm,
And
I'm assuming he could take more of an
he can take as much as he wants.
intricate role as
Yeah.
he wants, but the scale that this guy is like, he's worried about the galaxy.
Yeah.
Right. So his priority is everything. So
Yeah. So under him, we have what are called Lord Commanders. There are 5 of them in total, and there's 1 for each segmentum. So they will then brief the Lord Commander militant what's happening in their sector. They can get a better picture of, segmentum. And you we'll kind of just start at the top and build our way down.
Yeah, it's the pyramid down.
Yeah,
right?
Each guy reports to the guy above him. Next we have, which are an interesting thing, they're called War Masters. And they are they're not a permanent rank.
No.
And they're nominated by the High Lords of Terra. And what they're nominated to do is to lead a new crusade.
Yeah, like a specific task.
Yeah, and then like once that crusade's done, they will go back to their previous post. Like, this is not a permanent position.
Yeah.
It might only last 1 year. It might last their entire lifetime.
It might last multiple lifetimes, right?
Yeah.
Like, depending on the crusade.
Yeah. Under that, we have Lord General Militants. And they are in charge of whole battle groups of Imperial Guard regiments. So if we're looking at the segmentum again, you got that guy who leads that. Then underneath this, you got like the Lord Commander Militant, who's in charge of like hundreds of regiments underneath this.
The Lord General Militant.
Oh, sorry, Lord General Militant.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lords and militants and generals, and I'm reading off an iPhone.
Yeah, so who, like, if they're saying, if the Lord Commander Militant, he looks at like the Ultima Segmentum, and he's like, this area right here, like, is crucial now, we have to make sure it's stopped off. He's going to talk to the Lord Commander in charge of the Segmentum.
Yeah.
So he's going to talk to the Lord Commander in charge of the Ultima Segmentum, and then that guy, he's going to look at, okay, so here's the Lord General Militants that are in that area that are able to help with this assault. And then he's like, well, is this a new crusade or is this an existing one? But if it's a new crusade, then he's getting the High Lords to appoint a War Master in charge of this.
Yeah.
And the War Master, the autonomy that they have is interesting because technically they are under the Lord Commander.
Yeah.
But they are responsible for the crusade itself. And it sounds like even though the Lord Commander is above them, they don't really get involved with a lot of the determining of how the crusade is going to be run. Yeah. Which is pretty autonomous.
I wonder if it's like maybe like an acting military commander where he's like maybe like he's on site.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
As opposed to like, one of the Lords of Terra.
Yes,
he
like
can't travel across the galaxy to the hot zone.
Exactly. That's
right.
Exactly
he has to stay in Terra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he would have a bunch of Lord General Militants under his command, depending on the force that he's given.
Exactly. So that's like the high command of the Imperial Guard. Underneath that, you got what is the General Staff. So this is above regimental level, but it's still kind of within the regiment. So I'll give you a little brief description of when we say the word regiment. It kind of, from what I was reading, has 2 meanings. So, like, a regiment is... It could be, like, 100 guys or 500 guys or whatever, however many guys. And, like, a planet will create new regiments of these guys. So, I'm just trying to gather my thoughts here. So, the regiment will mean these guys that they gathered, but it will also mean the planet that they come from, kind of. To some degree,
like I get what you're saying, but
because I just don't know where that
like
the whole planet that they come from, where that falls in.
Cadia,
yeah,
right. Like Cadia has an Imperial Guard army.
Yeah, Imperial Guard regiment. They have many regiments.
Yeah, but they have many regiments. But if you were to put all of it together, you wouldn't call it the Cadian Regiment. You would call it the Cadian Army.
I've never found anything that says that though.
But I also don't see anything that calls everything that comes from Cadia, the Cadian regiment.
Well, I know, and that's why I'm
Right?
kind of confused at this.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called.
I can't find anything that makes
Yeah.
it super clear either, because I was
Yeah.
curious about.
So the general staff they're like the planetary leaders of the army. We'll just call it army, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you let us know, let us know.
Yeah, if you have
know.
like something, if you can quote something to us, that would be useful.
So we'll call it army for simplicity. So
Yeah.
each planet will draft an army. The army will be consistent of hundreds of regiments.
Many different kinds. Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about the leaders of the army right now, and not the leader of regiments.
Yeah, the specific
Yeah.
ones.
So the leader of the army, they're led by Lord Generals. And each of these terms, too, depending on the planet, depending on your upbringing, could have a different name.
Yeah,
Like
but the
Cadia's-
rank is the same.
Yeah, like Cadia's is Lord Castellan.
Castellan?
Castellan. Is there a difference?
Well, one has an I and
I
one
thought it was
doesn't.
Castellian too.
If there's no I, then it's Castellan. Or Castellan.
My English is as bad as Mark's, so I mean,
It's also not English. It's like Castellan would be Latin,
Ah,
right?
Gothic. My Gothic is as bad.
My common,
Yes.
low Gothic.
so yeah, this guy is in charge of all the regiments under him, and there could be hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Then underneath him, he has generals, and there's multiple like it's that whole breakdown again. You have one general who's in charge of 10 regiments, and then
You have 30 generals, so that's a total of 300 regiments.
exactly
Yeah.
like and once again, like all these numbers and stuff, depending on your planet, can vary so much, and the titles can vary, and guard can vary so much.
Yeah,
We'll
even more so than like Space Marines, and we went into how crazy Space Marines can vary.
Yeah, we'll get more into that later, but yeah. So underneath that, you have regimental officers, and these are the actual guys in the regiments. So when you're playing like tabletop, you are playing a regiment usually. Like
Yeah, think of how low down your guy is.
yeah, you're playing like the
Low down the totem
501st
pole.
first Catechin regiment, you know.
Yeah.
And who leads the regiment is called the colonel. And he has under him a major who is a second in command, and then he can have multiple captains, who are like his senior officers who just brief him and stuff. Like, and then he'll send his captains to go tell his lower
Squads
guys,
or
blah blah
whatever,
blah.
yeah.
Like, under captains, you have tank commanders who lead tank battalions, units of tanks, and you also have lieutenants. So it kind of goes into like you have your captains who then will talk to tank commanders, or they will talk to lieutenants, depending on if it's a tank regiment or an infantry
Or
regiment.
even just a tank support squad within the regiment, right? Like,
yeah. So a lieutenant leads a platoon, and a platoon I think is kind of more standardized than a regiment. A platoon is usually around like 50 men to 100. Like
this or 2 times this.
yeah, like
It's still pretty varied.
like
but
if you add up like if you went off the codex, like
Yeah.
I'm talking like the actual Imperial Guard codex.
Yeah.
You can build like 100, or you could build 50, like
Right,
depending on if
exactly.
you filled out your 2 troops. And, like,
Exactly, yeah.
They kind of give you numbers, but nothing solid. You might have 1,000 guys in one platoon. Like
right.
I have a question about that, actually, the tank commander in regards with the lieutenant.
Yeah.
So, tank commander, right, in charge of the armor and all that.
Yeah.
Rolling on the field, okay. So, they, I guess in hierarchy sense, they're over the lieutenants, but then do they answer, like... But can they only answer to like the armor, or can they also direct guardsmen to go places and all that?
no, like they're separate. So it's
Or like
not,
so that's like where the tree kind of breaks down into
exactly.
two spots.
It breaks
and
down
they,
into tank commander and lieutenant.
and they both answer to the captain.
yes.
Yeah, and the
exactly.
lieutenant can't tell the tank commander what to do, just like the tank commander can't tell the lieutenant what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like, let's say, like, a regular guardsman, like, a tank commander could tell him what to do, as long as he doesn't, like, go against his lieutenant's orders.
Yeah, like
Because you still, like, even though he's not technically in your line...
if you're in the guard, though, you probably don't want to listen to anyone who is not your direct supervisor
Yeah, but,
or a
like...
commissar.
But let's say a major from, like, another regiment comes over and, like, tells you to do something. Would you do it?
Personally, no, I don't think I would.
Do you think you'd get shot in the head for not doing that?
No, like because the whole thing is like it's structured, right? Like
Yeah.
you follow who's above you. You
So
follow
let's
who's
say
above
like
him.
let's say a general
Yeah.
from another regiment like comes and tells you what to do.
So then
So then it's like, how high up do you have to go?
So my question would be: is my general dead because then
No.
my chain of command
Like,
is
what
not
if it's in the
coming from
heat of
anywhere.
battle too, right? And there's so
Yeah.
many regiments fighting and all
I would
that.
be, like, the way that I view the guard is I would be so terrified to not listen to anyone who's above
I'm
me.
gonna die either way.
Yeah, there is no way.
Yes, sir.
But, like, yeah, in my mind, like, yeah. Either way, you're screwed. You're right. But
Would you rather?
would you? Yeah, but like, I would rather listen to my direct supervisor as long as. Yeah.
I was more wondering, like, if he told you to do something that doesn't go against, like, what your a guy of the same rank said, like,
Yeah.
would you still listen to him? Like, and this is a really dumb thing, because obviously you're going to say, oh, of course, but, like, could he tell you, like, go pick up that box and move it over there?
Yeah, like,
Obviously, you're going to do it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but, like-
if he's like, hey, take your squad
Yeah.
and move it over here, I need you over here.
then it's like, talk to my sergeant first of all. Why are you talking to me?
yeah.
I'm not in charge of this squad. And if my sergeant was dead, then like I'd go like, and if I already had standing orders, it's like, this is my orders. This is
Yeah.
what I'm doing. Like,
Fair enough.
my chain of command will get to me. You're not in my chain of command, you know, and I'd get shot for heresy.
Right, of course. And then you're dead, so
Yeah.
then you don't have to worry
But I
about
don't have to run up that hill and take the trench on top of the hill full of Nazis. I don't know.
Why are they Nazis? Why
I don't
would-
know.
You literally
Nazis
had
love
any,
trenches.
You literally had.
I've been
any
listening to a bunch
Xenos
of. I've been
force
listening to a bunch
galaxy.
of stuff.
I did an escape room. I did an escape room today
Yeah.
with in like a Nazi castle, and there was like straight up like a swastika flag on like the wall.
Well, that's like Indiana Jones.
That's
right?
cultural
Yeah.
appropriation.
Oh, oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
be writing them an angry
but
letter.
I'm like touching it, and I'm like, so this is illegal in Europe to have.
So fun.
Yeah,
So
we escaped. I just want to say that we got out.
I can tell you are here.
That's not what I meant. But whatever. Anyways, we didn't even get to the bottom of the list.
No. So under lieutenants, you have sergeants, and under sergeant, you have guardsmen, and this is essentially the lowest rank. You have underneath.
That's the shits.
Yeah, you have. There's one more lower one, which are conscripts, but not every planet will use conscripts. So
If you could afford to not to, you wouldn't. Right?
yeah, exactly. Like it's more of a dire situation that you will use conscripts. You know, just like.
All right. I do have a question,
Yes,
And-
because we just went over a bunch of stuff.
and we seem to be missing something that is very important or very well known to the guardsmen,
Okay.
and that would be a commissar. Where does a commissar just fit in the structure here?
They're their own thing.
So they,
So
who can they tell what to do, and
they
who can they
tell
not tell?
anyone what to do.
So how high up though? Can they tell a member of the general staff what to do?
So there are a couple different types of commissars. There's commissars and there's lord commissars.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's ever officially written down, but like to me, a commissar could tell anyone in a regiment what to do.
Okay.
A lord commissar would be in charge of the general staff.
So the Lord Commissar is responsible for it on a planetary scale, whereas
Yes.
a Commissar can be responsible on a regimental scale.
Yeah, and then I don't think they have a commissar who's in charge of
Oh,
the high
there's no
command.
way.
Like no commissar can go up to the leader of a segmentum and be like, "I don't like the way you write your eyes."
Right, and
Like,
shoot him in the head.
yeah.
No, that makes more sense to me. That's Inquisitor stuff.
That's Inquisitor level for sure.
Yeah, not Commissar.
So there's like is there a ranking for like there's like a ranking for commissars, like they answer
Just
to
the two,
their
right?
own.
As far as I'm aware, yeah,
Okay.
there's only 2 rankings, and they answer to their own, and they're not a part of the they're a part of the Imperial Guard, but they're not a part of regiments.
And they're not.
So
yeah,
we'll
okay.
get into the commissars later, and this will fully explain our questions. So that's kind of the basic structure of the command of the Imperial Guard. But underneath that, you have different branches of the Imperial Guard. And the very first one we're going to talk about is the regiments. And there's 5 different branches of the Imperial Guard. We're going to talk about the regiments first, because that will fall
Yes.
into the structure. That has all your lieutenants and tank commanders and whatever.
Yeah. So they are broken into 5 parts, just like Mark said, and the very first one in its High Gothic name is the Militarum Regimentos. Mm-hmm. And these are like the Militarum Regimentos is responsible for the overseeing of the individual regiments, and like so planets contribute to the Imperial Guard, right? So they supply regiments, right?
I wonder if that's what they just call them. No, that'd be the whole system. It's because we were saying like the army, the Cadian army. It wouldn't be the Cadian Imperial Guard with regiments.
Would it be the Cadian Guard? Catatian Guard?
I don't think it would be. I don't know.
It's still all broken down like with regiments though, and just,
Yeah, it
Yes,
still
of course.
is,
But
like-
it's wondering like you can have like you have your 30 regiments put together, but what
Yeah.
do you call that unit? Like a brigade? No, like
Yeah, because I've never heard of an
a battalion.
I think it's broken down to companies, and then from companies.
We're talking about go lower. We're talking about
Okay.
going higher.
Yeah.
Like if you have
so from regiment, what's a regiment?
when you have
Yeah,
many regiments.
What
put
are all
together,
the regiments from Cadia called?
Right.
That's the question. The answer
Canadian
is
Guard
I don't
wouldn't.
know.
I think it might be army, like
That makes sense. Like,
in a real world sense.
Sure.
Because I think
using our
this is a hunch, but I
knowledge-
think 40K is kind of based off our world.
never. No.
Don't think too deeply about it.
Okay, it's just a long shot, but I mean, after regiment, I believe it's army.
Yeah, it
It-
might
it's so
be. I
wrong.
don't
It
know.
also-
I
like,
honestly
I'm a
don't know.
civilian.
I also don't even know how these guys like travel together. Like, do multiple regiments of Cadia travel together, or are they like, hey, we need like the Cadian regiment of light or the line infantry over on this sector. So
Yeah.
just with you and your regiment, you go over there,
Yeah.
and they just split up regiments all throughout the galaxy.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like the Cadian.
They don't stick together.
No. Regiments will be all over the galaxy from different planets. And like different war zones will draw from different planets. Like send over the Cadians, send over the Catatians.
Yeah.
Like
So then it
couple of
almost
regiments.
it sounds like you build a war group
Yeah.
out of a bunch of regiments.
so, we'll just call it an army.
Yeah,
the Cadian army.
If you come from a specific planet before you're split up into all your crusades,
I
or
can't wait till
battles,
Christian listens to this. He's like, "You
sends us
motherfuckers!"
like 30 messages.
Yeah, it's just like delete.
Don't even bother.
Respond with LOL
Based on
and
my
then delete.
experience in the army, I can
Who
tell
are,
you
who are
what's
you
right and what's
talking
wrong.
about anyway? Never heard of this guy.
Don't.
It's not
ever,
worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
He's been banned.
Okay.
Can I find him on Facebook?
Not easily.
Okay.
So,
All right.
a planet will contribute to the army of the planet. And that army will be broken down into multiple regiments.
Yes.
Okay.
And some planets are specifically known for different, like, almost like styles or like flavors
Yeah,
of regiments
like
than
some
others.
are known for like siege warfare, others are known for tank
Right.
warfare, you know.
Yeah, like some of them are really good at creating like just regular warriors,
Yeah.
right? So, and that's
Some are good at just drowning people in bodies.
lots
Yeah.
of them are.
Yeah.
That's the main purpose of a lot of it. And also to attach to that, like they're also going to have their different specific tactics or sizes or war gear that they prefer, stuff
Yeah.
like that, or colors that they choose to wear and how they function. Like a lot of that is going to be based specifically on where you come from, and you
Yeah.
have your own unique flavor
Yeah.
based on that.
At the very end of this episode, we're gonna ramble off some like regiments just to show you how diverse they can be. But yeah, like we're talking about it. Even using the word standard regiment is not a good word for it. Like there is no standard.
Isn't there though? Because the codex
is-
would put the standard regiment. Because you could go in the codex, you could assume that this is the standard regiment, and anything else in that, which would be the majority.
Okay, yeah,
would-
yeah. So
would
like,
not be
is
standard.
51% of the guard structured
It
like
would
this?
no, it wouldn't
Like,
even be. It would be less.
So then, is standard a good way of wording it?
yes, because you can still have a minority that's like you have like 30% does this,
Yeah.
and then 70%
Do
does all
something
these
completely
things,
different.
but none of those are greater than 30%.
Oh, okay, sure.
So it's
No, that
not
makes
like
sense.
a majority; it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
minority, but it's still the largest
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
That's what I would
Sure.
probably say.
Okay.
It's
No, fair enough.
yeah.
That's a good point. Okay, carry on.
Welcome to government, right?
No, don't need it. Don't need it. Don't like it.
All right, but
Viva
even,
Revolution!
Vive la France! Even with all that variety that you have and all the different flavors, like they're still going to have their command staff.
Yeah, like you still need people in charge.
You still need that chain of command.
Yeah, and like what that command staff looks like can vary. They're not always going to have their generals, captains, whatever we rambled off earlier. Like they might call them something completely different, and they might even be missing some of them. Like who knows?
If there isn't like a chain of command, everything is just going to fall apart when that person
so
dies, because they will die.
They will die. So there will be a chain of command. What exactly it looks like, it varies. Under that, they will have a company command. So like what we were talking about with the regiments, you have the regimental command who will look after different companies in the regiment. So you could have 15 different companies in one regiment, and each company has 400 guys or 2 guys. Like, it's all numbers. It's all words and numbers.
They're bodies. They're real people, Mark.
Are they?
Yes.
Okay.
I view them as that.
I do too.
It's funny watching Christian play with them because he
yeah.
feels every death.
Same with Paul,
yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
though.
Everyone has a name and a small child back home.
Yeah. So underneath companies, they'll be made up of different squads. And once again, you might have a squad with 2.
So many different.
You might have a
kinds.
squad with 20.
Yeah.
But the average would be 10. Yeah.
All right.
So you have squads, and you could have multiple squads in a company. And then you'd have multiple companies in a regiment.
and you're going to have multiple regiments. If you're still on your planet, we've decided you're going to have multiple regiments in your army.
Yeah.
If you're off your planet and you're on a crusade, now you're in like a war group.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
We'll call it that. Whatever.
Yeah.
Something I just read up, which I kind of found surprising, is that regiments are essentially temporary units. And that they transport them to one side of the galaxy. I don't know if you guys were going to talk about this earlier or later.
Tell us.
But they'll transport a regiment over there, and essentially they'll just keep on fighting, and eventually just whittle off and die or get broken up or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it takes too much effort to restock that regiment.
That's a
with
very
warriors.
good point. Yeah. So, and even like, normally they name the regiment like Regiment 1, Regiment 2, Regiment. You might have like 5 Regiment 5s because like, well, the first 3 regiments of number 5 are going to be dead in a week. Like,
Yeah.
we'll just start another 5 so we don't have the 4,892 regiment,
Right.
you know? Like,
or they're like, the first is all gone. Let's reuse that number.
exactly.
Right.
Like,
So they're like a lot different from like Space Marine chapters, which like are a bonded brotherhood, and they
take pride in their colors, and everyone's
Yeah.
like, they track their history, and we've been on this conflict and this conflict. Like, it's not like that.
Regiments are like a seasonal job, except at the end of the
Except
season you're dead.
you're not gonna live out the season. Exactly.
Pretty
No,
much.
that's very important to bring up. So let's talk about the different types of regiments real quick.
Okay, there are a total of 12 different regiments, and
And there could be more.
You know what? Yes, we found a total of 12 listed regiments.
13 seems to be a very common number in 40k, so it could be 13.
Ooh, there's one missing. Ooh, what is it? What is it? Who knows? Okay, so let's start with the first one. It is an armored regiment. So what does that do, Mark?
I believe it's just like a tank. Like, you have a company of Lehman Russ tanks.
Yeah,
So you have hundreds of Lehman Russ tanks.
Yeah, just in that like one regiment.
Yeah. So it's a tank
Yes.
tank regiment.
Next, artillery regiment.
No idea. Never heard of either of those words in my life.
Even the word regiment. Hey, that one's new to you.
Completely new. No, so artillery regiment, obviously, it's an artillery regiment, so it's all artillery.
What? How could you possibly get
Wow.
that out of it? I don't.
Google it, somebody Google.
Well, it says art. I thought it might have been, like arts and crafts kind of. It says artillery.
You know what? Yes.
And maybe even artery in there, so they're like, that's where
Artery?
all the doctors are.
Oh.
Look, we're spitballing here. No,
There was no description on this one.
we didn't do our research. All right, so the next one we have, if I could get to it on my notes.
Is a drop regiment.
Oh, okay. Mark, what's a drop regiment?
Drop troopers. So, like, think paratroopers or grav shoot troopers. You know, the typical, they fly over with a plane and they drop a bunch of infantry.
I think they made Forge World models on that, just like
Yes, sir.
specifically, like drop pod.
Yeah, they're
Imperial
called
Guards.
Elysian drop
Oh, yeah,
troops.
yeah.
But they're sweet.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's a prime example of, like, drop regiments.
They do drop sentinels, and that's kind of cool.
Drop humans.
Drop
and
humans.
Just drop all the humans.
cover them, drown them in bodies. Just drop a bunch of humans. Sir, we don't
We
even
shall
have
fight in the
parachutes.
shade. Oh boy.
So after that, we
phones.
have Heavy Infantry Regiment.
I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. Normally, guardsmen are equipped with paper
Plasma.
towel
And flashlights.
and flashlights. This regiment is equipped with cardboard and
Laser pointers.
No, police. Oh, yeah, maybe laser pointers.
Laser pointers, because they can still do some damage to your eyes.
Sure.
Right?
Okay. Oh, so that's a heavy regiment.
That's heavy guns.
Would any of these regiments stand better chances against a Space Marine? Or is it just
Like a tank armored regiment, artillery regiment would be very useful.
but could a Space Marine still take out the entire regiment?
Like just one?
Yeah.
So going back to like, we don't know any standard numbers for a regiment. A regiment could literally
okay,
be like
yeah.
one guy.
I
or
guess so.
a billion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's tough.
you drown him in bodies. Like
Enough things will just weigh that Marine down, right? And he
Exactly.
can't do anything. But it would be disgusting to see how many people he would kill before
would be a lot.
he was.
But there's no
before he's
pound
done.
for pound regiment.
no.
Among
There's
all.
not like in the known
One
galaxy.
unit,
There's not
yeah.
a regiment that is known to like been like Space Marine killers. There's not anything that has like that sort of like.
I wish we would take out all those traitors.
I remember reading this one Horus Heresy book, and it was a Space Marine, and he's like charging a traitor guardsman fortress or whatever, and it just describes him like running, and the guardsmen are shooting like hundreds of lasgun shots like into his armor, and like he feels them as just like pinpricks, and then the odd one's more like a cigarette burn. But like he just like runs through this entire fortress and just kills like everyone in it. He's like chucking grenades at people. It's so sweet, but it's just like humans are not very good compared to a Space Marine.
No, but which is why you also would never meet a Space Marine.
Yeah, but
So.
you have a trillion humans, so you know. But yeah,
It would be a good fight. It would be a good fight.
Yeah, eventually those pinpricks are gonna eventually
Mess with your sanity.
yeah, you'll go insane and die.
So we got, after heavy infantry, we got hunter killer regiments.
Light vehicles, heavy weapons, and they are meant to destroy priority targets.
Yeah. After that, we got light infantry regiment. Not to be confused with heavy infantry.
Right. Yeah, light infantry, the main thing that separates them from like is that they have no transport.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's not light
no
armor?
organic fighting or transport vehicles.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So they got nothing. They're walking.
Huh.
That's a good life.
Yeah, so a lot of them
Good short life.
They would be more focused on like infiltration
Okay.
and reconnaissance, right? Because
But isn't there a reconnaissance regiment?
maybe
There
yes, there. I mean, there is.
Is this like a hybrid then? Kind of?
I don't know.
I bet it's like, this is like, drown them in this is the regiment you want if you're just going to drown the enemy in bodies. Like,
Not the line one.
no, like, because the line one has tanks and stuff. It has
does,
artillery
yeah.
support. Like, the line one is your standard. It's the all-arounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these guys are really good at moving through like terrain, and they
Sure.
have like lots of sniper cadres.
Cadres.
Cadres? Cadres?
Cadres?
Cadres?
What are you,
Like
Italian?
padre. I get it.
Yeah, Padre.
Cadre. Chasm. Chaos. Is land. Wednesday. We'll get there. February.
English is retarded.
It's not good, that's for sure. All right, next one.
So we kind of mentioned it, line infantry regiment.
Yes, this is your quote unquote standard
Yeah,
Imperial Guard regiment.
They have foot soldiers, they got tanks, they got artillery. They're kind of equipped to deal with everything, but nothing well.
Right. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah. Underneath them, we got the mechanized regiment.
Oh, I know what this is. This is where everyone has mechanic bodies.
Yes, robot legs. Everyone has robot legs.
Yeah. And you can only join this regiment if you actually cut off one of your legs.
What if you have like just wheels for your feet, instead? of
I'll allow
legs?
it. Will the commissar? I don't know. But I will allow it.
Heresy.
Also not approved wheels. We use
Wheels, I
tracks
guess.
in the
Tracks,
Imperium.
yes, tracks.
What is this strange heresy technology? Heretic. No, that is not what a mechanized infantry regiment is. They all have their own transportation.
Yeah. Mechanized as in everyone's got a bus.
That's like the units with like chimeras, and they all just pile on. And
Exactly.
move, shoot, pile on.
Exactly. Yeah, lots of tanks and movement stuff in that one.
Yeah.
All right, next we have the actual reconnaissance regiment.
Yes.
And these guys, I think the difference is that these ones would probably operate with way more autonomy. Because these guys are actually, like, getting your intel, and then when they bring it back, like, if they need to actually start, like, the fight, they're going to send the light infantry in to, like, go start with, like, strike attacks, maybe? I don't know, that's kind of how I would see it.
Okay. Sure.
Like, I'm shrugging,
yeah.
I'm shrugging over here, and, like, I don't really know.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's be honest.
It's the Guard.
It's a fictional universe
Throw enough bodies.
built off a game. None of this is real. None of it matters.
None of it matters. Why do we get so damn worked up?
really matters.
All right. Siege Infantry Regiment.
Paul, take a whirl.
Take a stab in the dark.
Siege.
Yes.
As in.
So it's spelled C-E-I.
So it has something to do with it's the ocean.
Right,
The
the sea.
guys. These are these are the sea guys. Right.
Keep going. I'm
yes.
liking where you're going.
And infantry obviously are guys. So I imagine like Navy SEALs,
Mermen.
frogmen, right? Yeah.
That's fucked.
So yeah, they are trained for siege warfare, often containing artillery, both heavy and light.
Yeah.
And wasn't this the one where I think we talked about earlier? We weren't sure exactly. Okay, they don't include like heavy artillery like the Basilisk.
Yeah.
And all that. They actually have machinery.
Oh, no. You're confusing a different thing. These are the ones that do just have like the
Oh,
basilisk.
okay. So yeah, these
Yes.
ones have the
How
Basilisk.
could you, Paul?
Well, but
You
you
should
guys were
be
so
ashamed of yourself.
passionate about it.
We were passionate. We were very passionate.
I
was
only bring
curious.
passion
I wanted to
to
see some
Warhammer.
of these models, but apparently I guess they don't exist. But I guess these ones do. They have
ones do, yes.
the Basilisk, the Demolishers. These are the ones that just lay siege to fortresses.
Yeah, this is where you'll find like your super heavy and your heavy tanks.
Yeah.
In this.
Yeah.
And apparently they're...
and also you would have like tons of like people to storm the city afterwards.
Yeah.
Because like this is not to be confused with an artillery regiment, which would just be
I don't know about that because it does specifically say that they work a lot of times in concert with line or light infantry.
Okay.
And armored regiments. They will take ground after the siege breaks through whatever it is they're trying to break through, and then those more foot soldiers will actually. So this is why you need the multiple regiments working together.
Yeah.
In order to actually take something for a tactical advantage.
So go for it, Paul.
Oh, I was just reading that they are expected to stay and fight for like several years.
If need be, yeah. Because they're siege,
like literal
right?
siege,
Yeah.
right? Like imagine a medieval
I guess
times.
siege and artillery are quite different. Like
The
different
artillery needs to
mindsets.
be a little more mobile.
Yeah, and I think siege is specifically called into. All right, there's an orc fortress or something like that, and we need to
Oh
bombard
please!
the crap
They
out
would
of
never
it.
siege an orc fortress. The orcs are running out of that to.
Yes,
Orcs are all just like bunkered down. Like,
yeah. Oh no! So scared.
so much fear.
Orcs so scared. All right. After the siege infantry, our very last one, the most weird one, is going to be the Abhuman Regiment.
Yeah, so these are filled with like ogrins and ratlings. Like they're just
Filthy.
yeah.
Filthy.
filthy.
Filthy old
and-
Foonkas.
Any human that has diverged from like the typical human. So like ogrins we've talked about before, but they're big muscular brutes that are like, 3 meters tall and like each arm dumb and like their arms are as thick as my body and like they're just massive.
Ratlings.
The opposite. They're short, they're tiny. Their bodies are as thick as my finger.
Yeah, so, whoa, that was an exaggeration.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is where you'd find like the weird, not quite human, but still participating in the unification of the galaxy for his holy emperor.
Yeah.
That's where you'd find these guys.
Yeah.
And that's a brief description of all the regiments.
Yeah, like
and
you
their
could really
main
like
purpose.
come up with anything, really.
Yeah, you could be like, I need a regiment for this specific purpose. So you make it.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But that's about it. And then we have a note here, troop variation, but I don't think I wrote that. So
I did.
okay,
Words.
that's why
I
you
was
know
just
what
gonna.
it is.
I was just gonna say like, so like we said squads like are the very kind of lowest thing. A squad is a sergeant and then a bunch of guardsmen, and these troops can be like anything really. They could be all equipped with shotguns and they could be like breachers or like they could all have camo cloaks and sniper rifles. Like, there's really an unlimited amount of possibilities when you think of troops. Like, they have medics. They might have medic, like, squadrons that just run around the field healing people, you know? They really have anything that you can think of.
Yeah, they're way more varied than Space Marines, but I like to think that the reason being is that like, it doesn't matter what 1 or 30 or 300 or 3 million guardsmen do.
No.
Because each one individually is so small that if something does go crazy wrong, and they're like, oh, we shouldn't have done that. Oops, that's like, 10 humans we had to kill to fix our mistake?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you have to be a lot stricter with Space Marine, because if a Space Marine takes something and goes to, like, the crazier level, then they're way more dangerous.
So, you know with numbers, how on the one side of the period, it's called decimals? What's the other side called?
Real
numbers? So on the right you got decimals, on the left you got whatever they're called. Like when these guys are like rounding off numbers, they don't go on the decimal side. They go like 6 or 7 on the left side of the decimal point.
What are we
like,
talking about?
Rounding numbers when like they're being like, okay, send X amount of guardsmen here. They're not saying like send 0.555 guys. They're sending like 55 million. Like that.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
That's the numbers that they're sending. They're not
commas is the word you're looking for.
No. I guess maybe.
Like,
yeah, sure.
They're not sending like 55,495,372. They're saying, well, we'll just send another 5 million if we need to, right?
Yeah.
Yes, because the individual guard doesn't matter.
Exactly.
And that's why they're like, you're like a line infantry, but you want to carry a medic bag and have a sniper rifle.
Okay.
Shouldn't be the biggest deal because you're going to die in 30 seconds anyway, so...
Yeah.
Right?
So it's really just, they have such a wide variety of troops.
All right. So that is the Militarum Regimentos.
That was one of the 5 branches of the Imperial Guard.
But it's good because that is also the biggest one.
Yeah.
The next 3, it's like there's no information on other than what you can glean just from the name.
Yeah.
So the next we have the Militarum Vendorum.
And they're in charge of collection of ties, which are bodies usually. They're making sure that the planets are paying their like tithes
of course.
in bodies to the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Is that like a currency?
Yeah.
It absolutely
Bodies
is.
as a currency?
It absolutely is.
Wow,
Like, there are
that's crazy.
specific, like, goals that, like, the Death Corp of Krieg,
We're tithing 10 million bodies to the Emperor this year.
Yeah, like,
Crazy.
that's how many we've, like, committed to give.
So the Vendorum is in charge of like collecting the tithes of bodies.
So, sorry.
Yeah.
What do you have to do to prevent decomposure?
What is that word?
Or decomposing?
Like, of the body?
Yeah.
No, live bodies.
Oh,
Like, this is how many
I thought it was
soldiers...
dead bodies.
Like they
Messed up.
That was why he was
well,
so
you were saying
messed.
bodies. I was like,
Because that's all
like,
they are. They're just bodies.
inanimate
I need
bodies.
10 million ears on my
Yeah, well, I
doorstep.
guess to the Imperium, they're just bodies,
Yeah.
but like not to me.
That's why,
They're
that's why
souls.
Jordan was so confused. He's like, this is weird.
Well, it's like
40K
they
is weird.
export like a certain amount of like people off.
So it's like
planet.
slaves more.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
It's not that different. Like, you're a conscript.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you've been forcibly entered
Right.
into the Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
we needed to meet our
Right.
quota.
But then they're actually like valuable. They're like, because I was just thinking in like dead bodies, like
Yes.
what could anyone do with
Yeah,
that?
you
you're,
have value.
you're not going to the market and you're like,
Yeah.
I have 10 dead bodies.
Yeah.
Can I get an orange, please? Like, no, it's, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Makes a little
Mind
more
F
sense.
there. Okay. Anyways.
Yeah, so they're also in charge of like paying people who do get paid if they get paid.
Which we're going to go into later.
Some people might, whatever, we'll get into it later.
Yeah, but they would be responsible for any of the fiscal, monetary
Yeah.
things that have to do ledgers,
Yeah.
accounts, notes, any of that stuff. They are going to be responsible for it. The Militarum Ordinatus.
And Paul, this is the one you were thinking we were talking about.
Oh yeah, the great huge siege weapons that
Right.
Yeah,
But
so, like-
more like
planetary.
ordnance weapons.
Yeah, so there's like the common tanks that are like basilisks, where think of just like a World War II tank. Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, it might shoot a mile or 20 miles, but like
Or like
the-
a Baneblade. right? Like,
Yeah.
Also, like a really big tank that.
But
the Imperial
still
Guard,
not what we're talking about
No.
in this one.
We're talking like macro weapons on this stuff.
Like a mile-long weapon we're talking about. Like just huge weapons that shoot around the circumference of the Earth and hit China. Did I just threaten China?
China. Yeah, but these are like city killing weapons.
Yeah, one shell kills that, blows up that
Right.
city.
Yeah. So
exactly.
this is like
Oh,
the
yeah.
regular guard is not doing anything with
Yeah.
this stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, so apparently a lot of these, some of these, like, these artillery pieces were as old as the Horus Heresy.
That's super
right?
common.
And they're like, they're almost like, they have like mysteries like with the machine spirit and all that.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are just pulled out in battle when Titans come, so they can just one-shot like Titans on the battlefield.
Exactly. Like you're not pulling them out when you need to like siege. You're getting your other things. Like this is for very specific heavy duty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Must be ritually blessed by the Lord of the Centuro Ordinatus.
That's pretty high up
So
there.
very like, very Mars and kind of.
Yeah. Oh, super.
Messiah-ish.
Anything that's like sufficiently advanced or old would be, they would want their hands on it, right? So. All right. Next we have the Militarum Auxilia, and these guys. So I didn't really understand this because they are responsible for abhuman specialists in the Guard, but there's an abhuman regiment specifically in the Militarum Regimentos.
To me, like these guys would be in charge of like how far is abhuman before it's too far. That's kind of how I see them.
They're like the police of, no, you're too diverged.
Yeah.
So you're not even allowed to join the regiments.
Exactly.
Okay.
In fact, we're going to send a regiment at you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they now a Xenos?
Might as well be.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I see them. They're not they're in charge of like if they find like a population of abhumans, they're in charge of like sending them to go join regiments.
Right. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Then.
Yeah.
It's more of an administrative role.
Yeah.
Yeah, just determining whether or not you are worthy to fight. Okay. And then we get into the very last one that we're going to talk about, but it is arguably one of the coolest ones. So this is the Militarum Tempestus.
Yeah. So there's two branches. There's Commissars, and there are also Tempestus Scions. These are kind of like your specialized units that go and join Imperial Guard regiments.
And don't really fit in the regular command structure.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything else you could find where it fits. Even if it doesn't have the same name, you'd still be able to say, okay, this is his leader, and then this is his leader, and this is his leader. But these guys don't really follow that standard procedure.
So where normal guardsmen are either drafted or they join up or conscripted or whatever. These guys, they all come from
the Schola Progenium.
Yeah, which is like a galaxy-wide orphanage that orphans will go to, or also like high officers.
It's primarily the orphans of officials, like high-ranking Imperial Guard officials who they've died and they've left their children. So then this Schola Progenium takes them in. But something else that's worth noting is that it's run by the ecclesiarchy. Yeah. It's actually not run by like the Adeptus Administratum or anything like that. It's like run by the church. Yeah. Which I mean the flavor it works, right? Because it's an orphanage run by the church. But when you're talking about the church like the ecclesiarchy, the focus is going to be a little different. So they really focus on the imperial cult. But not only that, like I also assume, and I don't have any sound like facts for this, but I assume it's like you're battle ready from a very young age.
Yeah, like it said, like a Cadian, like person from Cadia can field strip his las rifle as soon as he can walk, or field strip.
Right.
Like,
and that's like
that's not necessarily battle ready, but
right. But they're like even in this orphanage, in just the regular school, like they're still preparing you for battle. Yeah. Because these also fit a very special role, so they require a lot more attention.
Exactly. So and that role is from here they are sent to many different things. Some become commissars. Some become Tempestus Scions, which we will talk about. Some become assassins. Some become potentially even Space Marines. Potentially, some chapters might recruit from this population.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, because they're gonna pull from like when you're an orphan, and a Space Marine can start pulling when the latest is gonna be like 12 or something, right?
You know,
So.
and like if they've already put in all this time of training and stuff,
what's it called? Brainwashing them into the Imperial cult.
yeah, like it would be kind of a good spot for that'd actually be an okay chapter idea.
It would. That would be a very. I feel like the flavor from the Schola Progenium though is very religious based though.
That's fine. Some chapters are very religious based.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a common. Yeah, I'm not saying
opposed.
it's by any means a common thing.
I like the Black Templar mark. Like I am for. I'm for an army with a religious flavor to it.
Yeah, like so these orphans are really sent to a wide variety of areas that are really essential to like the Imperium.
Yeah. But when they do graduate from this, they're actually called progena.
Yeah.
Cool title.
Yeah,
That they're given. And then we're going to talk about two places that they're sent to. So they're either sent to the Commissariat,
Yep.
which put 2 and 2 together and figure that one out for yourself.
Okay.
Or they're sent in this regard to the Ordo Tempestus.
Yes.
So let's talk about Commissars, Mark.
So commissars are in. Paul, actually, you take it. You like commissars. You know commissars.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
Ooh, yeah. So like you said, progena. I'm gonna name my firstborn middle name Progena.
Paul
Okay,
Jr.
saying it right
Progena.
Male or female?
Paul
Doesn't
Progena.
matter. Paulina. Paulina Jr. Progena.
Paula Progena.
It's happening.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're sent to the commissariat for further training and indoctrination into the role as a commissar. And actually, I think it's kind of cool, but the commissariat then is responsible for attaching them, takes the graduates, and then assigns them to the guard regiments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like,
so
which is
technically, like the regiment itself has no say.
No, and the reason for this is you don't want commissars to be from the regiment that then they're in charge of
course,
disciplining and essentially killing.
right?
yeah, because they shot in the head, execution.
Yeah, and that's
firing
really
squad.
the
That's
main,
a pretty big role that they play.
That's the main role of the commissars is to kill people who flee in battle.
Yep, cowards.
And to discipline people who eat one too many rations. Either way, the disciplinary action is bolt gun to the head. So
I think it's kind of cool just how and this is like a great example of, I guess, how the vast armies of the Imperial Guard work and are not all just suddenly moving in chaos and being disbanded and all that, because they do have the commissars to keep them in check, right?
Yeah.
Making sure they have a devotion to the Emperor, since they're not actually bound by any planet, or they answer solely to the ecclesiarchy.
Because the vast majority of Imperial Guardsmen know what they're going to get into. They know that they're not going to survive. They know that they have a short lifetime. So it's like, why would they do that? Because it's like, well, if I fight, I'll be able to live, but if I flee, that commissar will kill me.
Yeah, it's either I have the chance at survival or 100% death.
Yeah.
Am I going to die a coward or actually
Also
die
that,
for a purpose?
Some of them might actually have that in their body.
Oh, I would. If if I'm a guardsman, I know, okay, my lifespan is 40 years,
40 years.
20 years, 5 years.
You are very optimistic, good
Yeah,
sir.
that's 1 in a trillion.
No, I thought the average lifespan of a human in 40...
Human, but an Imperial Guard is
Okay.
different.
Okay.
Isn't the average lifespan of Imperial Guard on the field?
I thought it was 18 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, 18 hours. Okay.
Something like
I'm
that.
going. I know I have 18 hours left to live. Am I going to die a coward or
I'm gonna die a hero.
a hero?
Yeah.
But they are responsible for the discipline within the individual squads and the regiments.
Yeah.
But something was crazy is that even if you're just incompetent, they
Yeah.
can kill you.
Oh, they don't. They're above reproach. Like they don't need a reason to kill you if they even just want to. Like, let's say somebody in the squad did something wrong, no one confesses, they just kill random person up.
Yeah. No, of course.
Yeah.
It's pretty above the law. Definitely like a little vigilanteism in there with
Yeah.
no rhyme or reason. As to
Yeah,
what
and
they have
there's
to do.
some commissars that are actually pretty loose, and others are heavy-handed. So it comes down to the commissar too.
What if a commissar can execute another commissar?
You know what? Yeah, I would say they would be able to, but it would have to be like, obviously, if one commissar is fleeing.
The commissariat is probably going to call you into question at that point.
Yeah,
right.
But like, if you
can
have a
answer
good
for it,
yeah,
It's like two inquisitors, shouting at each other. Who's the heretic?
oh, that like it's happened.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure like that's a huge like discrepancy.
Like Eisenhorn
thing.
had that like happen like 3 times.
whoever died is usually the heretic.
Probably
Yeah.
yes, because the emperor didn't protect him.
Exactly.
Just a side note, there apparently are also PDF commissars on planets.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah.
So, and that
'Cause
makes
the-
complete sense too.
So
Yeah.
a commissar isn't just for the Astra Militarum. Then it's for any kind of human fighting force. You could say. Like, are there commissars on the Imperial Navy?
I would imagine there probably would be like.
It would make sense to me.
Yeah, it would make complete sense. I've never thought of
There
that.
still has to
angle,
be
but
like a policing force
Yep.
for them, right?
Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna have to look into that. That's interesting.
well,
Well, thank you.
you're very welcome, sir.
So that's really all you can say about commissars. They're in charge of executing people who
And
flee.
they're in charge of lowering morale. All right, commissars. The next one we're going to talk about. So the other route when you're graduating from the Schola Progenium, and you are progena, is you could go to the Ordo Tempestus for additional training for the purpose of being special ops.
Yeah, which are called Tempestus Scions.
These guys are given like the crazy advanced weapons and the crazy advanced armor, and they're sent on like the crazy missions for like very express purposes.
They're the elite of the elite. Like, these guys are a step below Space Marines, and probably the only reason why they're not.
Well, a couple steps.
I don't even think they're a couple steps below. Well, like physically, yeah, they're a couple steps below. Like, but in terms of like who you'd want to run into in the Imperium Army.
Oh, I see what you're
Like,
saying.
it's like first you want to run into the guard, then you
A conscript. You want to run into a conscript.
you build your way up, and like Tempestus Scions are a step below Space Marines.
Gotcha.
Like, they're crazy. They're equipped with the best weapons, the best training, the best war gear, the best armor. Like,
Sent on the most dangerous missions.
yeah, and they're all super indoctrinated too, and like
super brainwashed. A lot of times their memories are even erased.
yeah.
From like before they entered like the Tempestus Scions. So
Yeah. There's a lot of information on Tempestus Scions, and we will do an episode on them eventually. The only other detail we'll talk about with them is they have on them a camera that's recording at all time to watch for like heresy, essentially.
of themselves or
Like a camera
okay.
on them.
Yeah, like, you know the model, how they have that little shoulder cam thing?
Oh yeah.
Like that watches to make sure that they're following orders exactly,
Oh, I
and
thought
making
that was
sure
just like
they're
a kill
not.
cam,
Well, sure.
It might
but
be
like,
used for both.
Yeah, but like
But it's also on them.
somebody is watching it and making sure that they're doing exactly what they need to do, and like,
Interesting.
yeah, I forget exactly what it's called, but yeah. So like they have that ever watchful eye where it's like, oh, if I don't charge that trench right now and be like they have to be extra valorous, and like they have to go a step above because somebody's always watching them, ready to kill them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, they're the elites of the Astra Militarum.
All right. Well, that concludes the breakdown of like how the Astra Militarum is like broken up into its different portions. Really quickly, we're just gonna go over the standard issue war gear of just a regular line infantry guardsman.
Yeah.
And it's super simple.
Yeah.
They get a las gun. So a las gun, it has like rechargeable batteries. Really, can't you toss it in a fire?
Yeah,
And the charge.
it's
Yeah,
not
I heard about
approved,
that,
but
like-
you can. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, it's like a battery pack, right? And
our
you
viewers out there, you can also put your iPhones into microwaves.
same thing, same effect.
Same effect.
Bright lights and tingles on your skin.
Yeah. And the las gun is a laser gun. It's a las gun.
It's a flashlight.
It's a flashlight.
They normally are equipped with flak armor, just your regular combat armor.
Yep.
Obviously, every single one of them must carry their Imperial primer.
Yep.
Very important.
To be able to follow all the rules and regulations.
Chances are good most
you
of them
wipe
can't
your
read.
butt. What do? Front to
Front
back.
to back or back to front. That's an important issue.
Exactly. You need to know.
One way could be heresy.
All right, guys, don't say out loud. Just put your hand up.
Yeah.
So then no one else knows.
I use a combination.
Jordan, I don't want to hear that. Heretic. Okay, if you wipe back to front, put your hand up. If you wipe front to back, put your hand up.
Why is no one putting their hand up on either of those?
This is why this needs to be videotaped.
So what, do you
I
guys
raised
not
my
wipe
hand.
your butt?
I raised my hand. You didn't raise your hand, Mark.
That's because I shower because it's a mess. There's no clean anus.
What
like
if I have one of those
shower.
Japanese
There's no
toilets?
redemption from that.
Yeah. There's no going
that,
back.
Mark?
What if I have one of those like Japanese toilets that just, you know,
The bidets?
the mists, you know,
yes.
And it starts
sprays and
speaking to you like,
dries.
oh, you're very dirty. Sprays water at you.
No, I literally go both. Do both.
Good man.
Yeah.
Do you
It
have
depends on the
two
situation.
anuses?
No, like front and backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Well, that's disgusting.
important
and I
questions.
don't even want to.
You have a cloth and you just go like,
That's a great idea.
just like a towel.
Just shit everywhere.
Oh man.
Just get a brown towel. Like the last thing you want to use is a white one.
Yeah.
For that.
How do you know if you do a good job though?
You judge the cleanliness based on the dirtiness of the towel.
Yeah.
This looks pretty dirty. I think I'm done. Don't think it'll pick up anymore.
For the Emperor, everybody.
All
How do
right.
Space Marines do it, guys?
You
They
know what? That
recycle.
was actually an email we got. Yeah.
Maybe
they're
we'll
like-
save that for the question section.
Okay, we'll save that. I'll write a note because it was funny.
All right. So they have their Imperial Primer, and this is like how to live as a guardsman. How to live in the Emperor's pure light, how to make sure you aren't committing any heresies.
It's even to like how to field strip your las gun.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
everything you need to know about being a guardsman.
Yeah. And a lot of it is propaganda. If you want to be able to like read kind of the Imperial Primer, I think at one point they actually did make one.
A full one?
Yes.
yeah, I think so. There was
Yeah.
a book about that.
If you're lucky, you could probably track that down if you really want to know the full propaganda of it.
Something I love about the propaganda, there is that website that does like Imperial Guardsmen like updates.
Yeah, like the Games Workshop community site has.
Is
like,
that them that does it?
Yeah, they like it is Games Workshop who writes that.
Oh, okay, because it's really
Imperial-
funny.
Yeah, what the fuck is it called?
It's like Imperial Guardsmen, like they're what they send out on like a monthly basis or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a
reading.
newsletter.
Yeah, it's a newsletter. It's like an Imperial Guardsman newsletter that you can read, and I really enjoy it because
funny.
it's total bull crap.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you read it, and it's like how to deal with Necron, and the reality is you cannot deal with Necron.
yeah,
as
yeah.
a
An
guardsman.
Imperial Guardsman has no chance.
Right,
Here's
but it's
some,
but it's like don't worry, they're super weak after they just woke up, and it's like no,
Yeah,
they aren't.
well, it's like it's a brand new race to the galaxy,
Right.
even though it's the oldest
Yeah.
race
Yeah.
in the galaxy.
It's almost more like Imperial propaganda.
It is
100%.
But I love the flavor of it.
Yeah.
Here's like an excerpt from the book. It says that the book tells the infantryman that his weapons are the best in the universe and will kill most things with one shot. Yeah.
What a joke.
yeah, so
Yeah, just to make them not fear.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
When they
Like,
actually
oh, I'm so protected.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
such a
yeah.
powerful weapon.
yeah. And so what ends up happening with this primer is a lot of guardsmen, like once they become like veterans, and by veterans I mean they survive a day. They use this as toilet paper because it's like they've read
They
it. and they're
know
like,
it's
"Holy,
such
this is
bullcrap."
this is not real.
Yeah. After the Imperial Primer, we're gonna like another main thing that Imperial Guardsmen will have access to is a Lehman Russ battle tank.
And not everyone, but like when you have a tank regiment, this is like their main battle tank, the Lehman Russ battle.
This is
tank.
the most common tank in the IG.
Yeah, probably the most common tank in
In the galaxy. Well, that would make sense. They're the biggest fighting force.
Yeah.
So, and then they also have access to like the Army of the Imperium, which is massive.
Yeah, like-
utterly massive.
they get all their las cannons, melta guns, plasma incinerate, all that.
so
Nova
many
cannons,
different
you know.
variations on
Yeah.
their tanks and different
Yeah.
weapon loadouts. So different kinds of armor, different grenades, different everything. So
Yeah,
it's way
but-
too much for us to list.
Yeah, but when I think Imperial Guard, I definitely think of lasgun, flak armor, or Lehman Russ battle tanks.
Yeah, exactly. That's like your standard guy. So
Yeah.
and that kind of concludes like a basic education of an Imperial Guardsman.
Yeah, like they're so hard because now we'll get into the whole diversity of it. Like there is no standard. Like each regiment will vary greatly from the next one. Some might not even use las cannon or las guns.
Right.
Like
Yeah, it's
The most-
it's too tough to say like this is true
Yeah.
of all guardsmen.
Yeah.
Well, what is true is that someone is always telling you what to do.
yeah,
If you don't do it, you'll get shot.
yeah.
And then if you do die, there's another one to take your place.
Yeah.
That's like true of all guardsmen.
So there's like there's a bunch of famous regiments that we'll go over, like Cadian. They're just known for being like,
Acadian shock troopers?
yeah, Acadian shock troopers. They're known for being kind of like the most typical. They're the most widely spread of all the Imperial Guard regiments, and yeah, they're kind of they're courageous, and they don't break. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna
They're
see.
just their standard thing. Like
I'm gonna see if I can name a regiment that you don't know what
Okay.
they are.
Okay.
These are like the notable ones, but there's a huge list, so I'm
Sure,
hoping you don't
sure.
know them. So we'll start with one that you definitely do know.
'Kay.
Death Corp of Creek.
Yeah, so these are like vat grown essentially clones where thousands of years ago the planet kind of fell to chaos a little bit. So then they fought it off. They nuked their own planet, and ever since they're just trying to redeem themselves.
Yeah,
and they just send in waves and waves of bodies.
Like the Imperial, like the administratum, like remarks that it is unusual how they're able to supply so many
Yeah.
after what happened to them.
Yeah.
So, what about the Maccabean Janissaries?
I would imagine they're like Janissaries.
What is that?
Christian always goes on about them. I honestly, I'm not sure about that one
Ooh,
fully.
Okay. Well, it says here.
They're probably like raised from children taken as orphans, and yeah,
Yep.
Janissaries.
Yeah, they are a fanatical faith in view of
that's
their
what-
service.
Yeah.
What about the? Have you ever heard of the Talarn Desert Raiders?
Yeah. They're actually very famous. They're known for their planet's a desert, so they're
Okay.
known for like Taliban essentially.
Wow. What does that
Essentially.
mean?
They wear turbans
Oh, I actually see that. Yeah, not really turbans, more like scarves.
around their head like turbans. And yeah, like they're just desert warfare specialists.
Okay, that's
Actually,
cool.
one of the older models looks like a sheik or something like that.
Yeah. More. Yeah. Maybe not so much like what I was saying, but more like what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, what about the Vostroyan Firstborn?
They have a very like honored past, and like every firstborn on the planet becomes a guardsman, and like they pass on their rifle to their son when they become of
Oh,
age.
that's like a good. That's like a tradition.
Yeah, so some of their rifles are like thousands of years old.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, but that they're very honorable and noble, and like the firstborn, it takes like such pride.
Oh, these are the guys that look like old school Russian soldiers.
Essentially,
Yeah, they're like newer models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul, you answer the next one.
Okay, Paul, Tanith first and only.
Oh, Tanith first and only. Okay, I believe it was. Okay, Imperial Guards, they don't commonly combine refugee regiments and just like from different worlds together. But the Tanith first and only is an exception because there's a really. I think there's like a really prominent commissar that was like leading them.
Yeah.
I believe it's a book. Yeah, it's a book.
like
Tanith
so-
first and only.
Yeah, like basically what happened is Tanith was a planet. Tanith got wiped out. Only one regiment survived, and that's the Tanith first and only.
Okay, so if any of
And
the
it is led by like a very famous commissar. Is it Kane or Gaunt? I forget.
Oh, it's Gaunt.
Gaunt's
Yeah.
Ghosts.
Gaunt's Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be the Tanith first and only. Yeah, so that's kind of them. Like their planet was destroyed, so now there's only one of them. And as like they go out on the galaxy, they actually there's less and less of this regiment around, but they recruit from other populations.
So that's what Paul's saying is that's what's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
rare.
Yeah.
Because normally you just let them die out.
Exactly, but this one is like a regiment, even though very few are still actually from Tanith.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not common for the Imperial Guard to combine like Talarn Desert Raiders and the Valhalla Ice Warriors or
Yeah.
something like that together because
Yeah.
they just
Oh, but these guys would accept them.
they have like different, they'd have cultures that clashed and all that, so but
Different ideals.
yeah, so these guys, the Tanith first and only.
Yeah. Give us one more, then
All right, super easy one. Catachans. Catachans? Catachans? Catachans?
Arnold. Think of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Catachan.
Catamarans.
They come from like a jungle planet, and they're known for like jungle warfare, and they all
These are like your super ripped looking.
think of like
models.
any 70 action movie
Rambo.
with Arnold. Yeah, Rambo. Essentially, it's an army of Rambos.
Yeah, but that's just a tiny little taste.
Like really, like anything you want to do, you can do it. There's regiments that are genetically modified to like the point where they're like almost Space Marine levels. Like,
Genetically?
yes. Like anything you can possibly think of. There are regiments that are equipped with power armor and bolters. Anything you can think of.
I just don't like it when they're equipped with power armor when they don't have the black carapace.
That doesn't matter. You can still use power armor.
I know
Systems of
you
battle,
can.
Don't use.
I know. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
I just don't know why you're hung up on that.
Because, Mark, it allows a full integration with the suit. And if you
Okay.
don't have it, you can't fully integrate.
It's reverse condom.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
But I think that about wraps up our knowledge, our basic knowledge that we're doling out.
Yep. Do we want to do our typical disclaimer of yes, we will go into Acadia one
No,
day? Yeah.
I don't want to.
Fine.
I'm done with Imperial Guardsmen after this. Someone quote this. I will never do an Imperial Guardsman episode. 10 episodes later. Yeah, no, we'll definitely
episodes
be
later.
hitting up a couple of the more famous regiments.
Yeah,
when we got
because
time.
some of them, like, they're so diverse and so unique and so flavorful.
That it's totally worth, yeah. Like, and the wars that they've been in
Yeah.
are so noteworthy, right?
Yeah.
That they've played such a huge role.
Yeah.
But let's just go through a couple of the questions now that we gathered from Facebook, just about people who were like, oh, like talk about this on the episode. So, first question, Paul, when do guardsmen retire?
Okay, so when you say retire, do you mean like retire with an imperial sanctioned pension, or retire as in shot to the head kind?
Both. when does a guardman ever retire with a pension?
Well, I don't believe this grimdark universe has pensions of any kind.
Okay.
Yeah, like the vast majority of them will not be retired.
No, they never retire.
And-
Well, there
or
will be some
returning.
planets that will allow you to retire.
Do you
Yes.
really think so?
Yeah,
Well, the
absolutely.
Vostroyan firstborn, because don't the fathers they give their Lasga.
But there's you could
Like-
hand your
like,
last gun
what if
over,
you,
but
like-
still fight.
But what if you live long
then
enough
how are you
that
gonna
you're just
fight?
not physically
You're-
capable anymore?
But then you probably died.
or you become a,
Because you
not
weren't
a
necessarily.
servitor.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you live, like, your just age is catching up to you,
Yeah,
and
you
you
s-
haven't died, like, in the very rare occasion that
Yeah,
you've
because it will
lived.
happen.
Yeah.
That you have a 70-year-old
Yeah.
guardsman. It's just like, enough.
Yeah.
You're done. You are retired.
He's like, no, put me back in.
Like, he's a
coach."
liability to the army, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like, so as much as we joke about retirement, like, most likely no one's retiring. They're all going to die, like, at an early age.
I'm curious, like, because I honestly, in my mind, it was like, if you were old enough to where that was starting to be affected, you would die, and like I thought it would just be impossible.
Here's the thing, though. When they were say retire, most likely you're not going to a nice beach somewhere drinking Muay Thai for the rest of your life. You're going to go back home and work in a factory. It's not really
Yeah,
retirement.
you still have to pay all your imperial debts for them loaning the gun to you
for the last 70 years.
all your rations, your armor.
Like, is there no, like, administrative positions they could take
There would
on?
be lots.
Yeah, like,
okay.
and that's what I'm kind of saying. Like, the retirement is more a shift from being in the guard to more doing a different position.
But yeah, you're still working for the imperial.
But having said that, there has to be a regiment out there where it's like, you put your 5 years in and that's all. Maybe somehow they've worked out.
That wouldn't be a terrible thing, because then it's like all you got to do is you got to work through your 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, we'll put you through hell,
Yeah.
but work through your 5
You
years.
survive through it. That's
Because
your
maybe it's like a
reward.
very rich planet or something
Exactly,
like that.
and they
like-
still have to make their like body tithe.
Yeah.
right. But then,
But then
they're
it's
like,
like, if
look,
you
if you
survive
come
and you're
back,
done.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'll be set up for life.
Yeah.
That could be an interesting thought.
Right? Like, the Imperial Guard, anything you can think of can happen, really.
right. It's just the galaxy is just so vast.
Exactly.
What is a trophy world?
So I'm not 100% sure if this is an actual category.
We're thinking of the exact
Official.
same thing, though, right?
I think so, yeah. In my mind, when I hear this, I think like a planet that is given over to like veterans who have retired or have done some great deed, and now it's like, come to this trophy planet. You've won this planet.
yeah, or
It's
you
like-
found like an STC
Yeah.
for a knife.
But like I don't think there's actually a technical, like they have Death
Like a
World.
designation.
Yeah, like I don't think this is an actual designation.
I don't think so either.
No,
But we do know instances of where like worlds are gifted to Imperial
Yeah.
Guardsmen who have distinguished themselves
Exactly.
above the regular.
Yeah.
So, are the Tanith still active?
I believe they are. Like Paul was saying, like they just keep adding more regiments into this.
Yeah,
one
with
regiment.
that like
And, like-
mentality, you could technically never be destroyed.
Yeah,
Like
and
maybe
I-
all the original inhabitants of Tanith are long gone, but still the regiment endures.
Yeah, and then
and
like,
I don't ever recall Abraham Gaunt to ever have died.
Yeah.
So-
and the thing is, like, even with that whole shift in like the cultures and the ideas, like maybe when you join the Tanith, like you have to abandon everything you did, and so maybe even their like whole cultures like are still surviving through its members.
Yeah,
So that could
so
be
I'm
kinda-
pretty sure they're still active.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it is.
Do guardsmen get paid? Does a regular guardsman get a couple imperial credits? Are they called credits?
I think they're called thrones.
Okay. Does an Imperial Guardsman get a couple Imperial thrones deposited into their bank account at the end of every month?
I'm gonna say yes.
Just like the average guardsman.
Yeah.
No.
I think that would depend on, like, do they have any time off?
Not that I would assume.
They kind of do, like between missions.
But not to go back home.
They
Not if you're on
definitely-
the other side of the
They definitely
galaxy.
don't go back home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like, can they buy stuff on their ship? Like,
Yeah.
that isn't already provided?
yeah, so when I say yes, they get paid. I'm not talking livable wage. Like they're not making anything worthwhile, but they are making money because there's instances where like they do have to buy stuff. Like
Okay.
they buy extra rations or they buy
Like from their ship?
yeah.
Do you think they actually buy it or like goes against their credit?
Oh, kind of the same.
Because I can't see
Yeah,
like.
well,
I
either
can't-
way, it's-
like it
that's-
costs
maybe
so
there is
much-
like a credit system. You know.
Maybe it just costs so much to like. Here's your weapon. Here's your armor. Here's your bunk. Here's your rations. Here's all your equipment. But like.
Here's the thing, so usually I'm sure the guard get paid maybe bi-weekly. Let's
Sure.
say just to be fair, we'll say bi-weekly.
Or else they'll go
How
on
many-
strike.
How
It's unionized.
how many guardsmen survive 2 fucking weeks to get paid?
That is
It's
very
something to look
true.
forward to at the end of the day.
You're not making it till the end.
Oh man,
So,
it's
like,
Thursday. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get
yeah,
dead.
yeah, exactly. So it's like there probably are some planets that actually get paid really well to be a part of the guard.
Huh.
Like it all depends on the planet.
I always just assumed that it was like, because I do think like a guard also wants like maybe extra rations,
Yeah.
or maybe like a beer or alcoholic beverage
Yeah.
every now and then. But I would always assume it's like every 3 months you can pull like 2 extra rations. Every week you can come and you can take 2 beers or whatever.
Some regiments are probably very much
Yeah.
like that.
It's just the whole idea of currency never really fit into like what a guardsman's like life would be. Like Space Marines don't get paid.
No, they're completely different.
Right, but I would also-
warrior monks like
Yeah, and that is a
they
different
don't have any
mentality.
desires like
Yeah, but I also think like the Imperium is going to supply that for the guardsmen. Like it's not worth even keeping track of if we paid
Yeah.
them or not.
yeah, like I agree with you for the most part.
But there is the
and like I said, I definitely don't think they're making $30 an hour. You know, they're only making maybe $1 a day type thing. Like they're making nothing really.
yeah.
I just kind of read up on, and it seems like for a lot of planets that or where they tithe Imperial Guards, to join the Imperial Guard regiments is considered like an honor and actually something to achieve and strive for, because a lot of these worlds are just like wretched, like hive worlds, and there's just like nothing to live for there. Whereas you know,
can go
the Emperor is a
off-planet.
god. You can go off planet, right? You can see the galaxy, and none of its terrors.
Join us. See the galaxy.
You can just imagine some of the propaganda,
Yeah,
right?
for
That's
sure.
just, like, see the galaxy.
Yeah.
See what an Eldar looks like. Or just something
Kill an
like
Eldar.
that.
Kill an Eldar,
Kill an
yeah.
Eldar with your lasgun.
Save
Guaranteed
your brother.
one shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
Guaranteed
saw
one
Starship Troopers, but that's kind of what I imagine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think they get paid?
I don't know. I'm still like if they're on ship or something like that, you know, like, and if they're in the regiment, yeah, I think there's some kind of credit. But like, I think like, are you gonna get paid to join the Imperial Guard? I don't think so. I think it's either you're pressed in like by a commissar or press gang, right, or it's a high honor, right? And you're like, oh yes, I'll gladly give my life to, you know, the emperor.
Yeah. But who knows? Maybe they also even have like, if you join, we'll give your family 10,000
Yeah,
credits. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
and there are those situations, I'm sure.
Of course.
Like,
Some kind of incentive.
yeah.
Yeah.
It all
So
varies.
unknown. That's where
Unknown,
we're-
ultimately unknown.
Yeah, that's where we're ending
Depending
on
on
that one.
regiment, depending on planet.
Planet, yeah. Okay. Can guardsmen have babies?
Well, men can't have babies.
What do you mean, Jordan? Would you like to say
Let me
more
put
about
a
that?
Didn't you watch
Let
that
me put a
movie?
uterus-
Oh,
the
with,
Arnold
Arnold
Schwarzenegger one.
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, he has a baby.
A man with a penis who becomes a woman with a penis is now a woman. She can have a baby, Jordan.
Oh, I didn't know we were so woke in the 41st millennium.
We've been woke since the second millennium, and we stayed woke.
Oh,
The
wow.
oh
the
my
whole
god.
time.
Even through the grim dark.
Guardsmen.
That's why it's so grim dark.
I would
though.
assume they could have babies.
Oh yeah, no, they can.
Yeah.
There's also guards women too.
Yeah.
We actually read this very interesting number the other day.
Like the
Eric.
guardsmen can inseminate women.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Like-
so
That's what
not
you
like
mean.
sterile.
Because the ultimate currency is bodies.
Yeah.
Like, so if you don't have
yeah,
guardsmen,
you need people reproducing. Yeah.
you need it. Yeah. So
But yeah, the cool stat we found is that out of all the guardsmen in the galaxy, less than 10% are female. And the majority of those females are in female-only regiments. It is extremely rare to see any kind of mixed regiment. And the Tanith would be one of those.
yeah, I wish I remember what book that was, but it's a pretty common book, or it's pretty popular.
Yeah. But it was like quoted right out of there. So that's
Yeah.
we always wondered what the actual number would be, but
Yeah,
that's
and
it.
And it was written by a female too. So
Less than 10% of all
we
the-
have to believe what she says.
But when you think about it, how many guardsmen?
Trillions.
10% of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
It's
if
still-
if somebody put an all-female guardsman on the table, I wouldn't bat an eye. I'd be like, sweet. Like, where'd you get those female
Yeah,
heads?
exactly.
Like,
You'd be
that's
like, where'd you get the
awesome.
models?
Oh fuck, you even modeled some boob plate on there. That's awesome. Good on ya. You know. But yeah, like because the numbers are so high.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You could have an entire sector covered by Imperial Guardsmen, and it wouldn't even matter.
Wouldn't phase me for a second.
No.
But it was interesting that they actually did put a solid 10%.
Yeah.
But
All right. So they obviously can have babies and are probably encouraged. Who knows?
I don't know if it'd be encouraged necessarily, but because then I don't know.
Like, can you imagine them getting like paid leave?
Are you talking
Nah.
about like like a civilian like having babies or like a guardsman like in active duty?
In
Like
active
in
duty.
active duty, like there's
Well,
a
how would
guardsman and a
if there's only
guardswoman, and they
10% guardswomen out there?
Well, there's also a million like servants with them,
yeah.
right? Like,
I guess. I don't know. Just it could be. It would seem like a conflict of interests.
maybe for you.
I think a guardsman would be more inclined to escape a
gay
commissar's bullet than like charge into battle if he had like a honey back at camp.
Oh well, yeah. Let's be honest. The guy's not getting anything about getting anything out of impregnating a woman
No,
here. Like,
no.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
What is a penal legion? Not to be confused with a penis legion.
Which are
What's
90%
that? I'm
of
curious.
the guards.
Yes. What is a penal legion?
So there's always gonna be bad people. And
Yeah, like criminals.
yeah, exactly. So they're literally like prison planets where they'll have their own Imperial Guard regiments of prisoners. And what's sad and funny about it is
At the same time?
yeah,
I would
yeah.
like to see you laugh and cry.
half face,
Yeah.
top half, bottom half.
Side. I want to see the sides.
Like, I haven't mastered that technique yet. But like they probably won't be given weapons because they're prisoners, and you don't want to give prisoners weapons. So it's just like sending bodies at
This is a literal body wall.
yeah, like
Just cannon fodder.
yeah. Like, and just like
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It's like we don't want to execute you, so we'll let someone else do it. Or
Essentially,
like,
yeah, like-
we could execute you.
Well, no, it's they're putting them to use still.
Yeah, like-
rather than just like
to use.
yeah, you may as well.
No, of course. Yeah.
But another part of penal legions is like if you survive this battle, which you're not gonna survive, you're free from any
it's like
criminal charge.
you're waived.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's like go charge those orcs.
But it does give them.
I might let you keep that cutlery from lunch earlier. That plastic cutlery, like.
But it does give them some incentive to fight a little harder.
Exactly, yeah.
Rather than just like giving up and dying.
Yeah. On tabletop, they had this rule many editions ago where like you rolled a dice at the starting of the game, and depending on what you rolled, you consult a table, and that's kind of what they were equipped with, or like that special rule they had. So
For like
some
penal legions?
yeah,
Huh.
So some had like they were equipped with knives, so they got an extra attack. Some actually had las guns. Like it was kind of cool.
Huh.
Like each regiment's very different.
The prisoners with good behavior got last guns.
Yeah, like yeah.
Not
So
to
that's-
shoot at each other.
That's kind of a penal legion. It's like prisoners who've been drafted into the Imperial Guard and said, if you survive this battle, we'll let you.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Apparently, a lot of the penal legion soldiers they have. Amazing. A lot of the penal legion soldiers they
Put
have.
that in post, Jordan.
just crank up the
someone
volume.
just tooted.
Barking spider.
He pootered.
Sorry, Paul.
They have slave collars, right, with
Oh.
explosive devices that will, if they try to stray away or escape, it'll like. It's like I don't know. It's kind of like one of those ankle, things,
Yeah.
right? It'll explode inwards and like
Kill
cut
ya.
off their head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
not
incentive to fight hard.
Yeah.
Jeez. What is your favorite war that the IG was in? Now, I am not well versed in any of the battles that they participated in. I'm assuming they participate in every battle,
Essentially, yeah.
right? But what would be like your favorite one that they're in, and if you can, who participated in it?
So just right now I'm on this like World War One, World War Two binge. And so I would go with Death Corps of Krieg and the Siege of Arax. Because it's literally just straight out of like it's trench warfare. You take a step out of the trench and 18 people just died, but it's like you gotta keep charging, and yeah, it's just like it's so gross, the war. Like there's no glory to be had. It's just you're
Gotcha.
running, you're dying.
Trying to get that next trench, but you
Yeah.
can't.
And to me it's really that like that's Imperial Guard in my mind. Like there's no glory to be had. Like yeah.
Paul?
I have to say I really enjoyed the Imperial Guard in the Battle of Armageddon, and just like
Yeah.
Which one?
Armageddon.
Either 2 or 3, pretty similar outcomes. Pretty similar.
It was
yeah.
it was the one it was the one that was like that. It was the big tabletop one with Commissar Yarrick and like
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, and they came out with like a sub codex or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, right.
Yeah.
And it was just I don't know, it really captured. It really fascinated me.
Yeah.
Right? Just like these, mindless monsters that want to have a good time, pull a couple guardsmen's, legs and arms apart and all that, right? And these guys are just like fighting for their lives. And then they have like the Space Marine chapters in with them, right? Fighting against Armageddon. And I don't know. I love just because you hear of Space Marine heroes, right? Fighting against, monsters, and chaos
Yeah.
and all this stuff, right? But here you have just like Commissar Yarrick, against the warlord Gazkul, right? Just huge orc, tiny little man with the really large, power claw.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one I know it's a bit mainstream, but that one really stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
as,
Have
like,
you seen that animated Hell's Reach book on YouTube? Okay, well, if you
We'll
don't know
show-
what I'm
we'll
talking
show-
about,
No, I
yeah,
don't
we'll
think
show
I
you.
have.
Yeah.
It'll blow your mind. Yeah.
All right.
excited.
What is a specialist group in the IG?
Oh,
That's
you're not gonna answer?
Oh no, I said I don't have one. Like I'm not really well versed.
Oh, okay.
In
Okay.
that whole thing.
Okay.
I know a little more about Space Marines, but not quite. All right. What are some specialist groups in the IG that are a little less known? One that you think it would be cool to mention.
Paul, you had one.
Oh wait, what are some specialist groups less known? What did I mention earlier?
They have 4 legs.
Oh yeah, the My Little Ponies in space.
Yes.
The Rough Riders.
Yeah, so it's the cavalry.
Oh, like actually, like they use horses? That's
Yeah.
why you're
Yeah,
naying, I'm
it's-
assuming.
Yes.
It wasn't just for fun.
He was a whinnying.
but
Yeah, they're really cool, and I remember trying to field. I kit bashed elves from Warhammer Fantasy, and then tried to make them a guard Rough Rider squad.
Sounds like
And-
it went beautifully.
good times happened.
It was a special moment. They had wings, and they're not supposed to have wings.
So what's like a loadout for one of those guys? Like, is it lances?
Yeah, they have like crack lances. Which
Oh,
are,
so like explosive tipped.
Yeah, so you just
Like one-time use.
yeah,
Seems effective.
it's a good time having something explode while you charge into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
But horses are kind of cool. That's like super
Yeah.
unique. You do not see that a lot at
yeah,
all.
You wouldn't expect that in the battlefield of
No.
the 41st
yeah. Horses
millennium.
kind of were not used as soon as machine guns happened.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a pretty cool, pretty flavorful one.
Yeah.
Mark.
A specialist unit. I love the Legion drop troopers and like how they just drop everything. They have drop sentinels, which are like essentially think of ATSTs from Star Wars, just a little smaller, but they drop them out of ships, and they also drop like think like a Warthog from Halo.
Yeah.
They drop something like that, and it's just they'll drop it from high altitude, and they'll just drop infantry, and yeah, it's just
That's cool. Like super infiltration.
yeah, and yeah, I like them. They're cool. It's kind of
They're pretty cool.
pretty neat. Pretty neat to be able to drop a vehicle from space.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Little interesting flavor.
Yeah.
All right, and that actually wraps up our guardsman questions. But we're gonna go back to the one we talked about.
More poop talk.
Yeah, poop talk. Little scat chat, as I like to say.
So
Do Space Marines
dear.
poop?
obviously they do.
And then what happens with it?
So their power armor does recycle it. Like
So recycles to what, Mark?
well, so this is where it gets
Compost?
They just have a little compartment that they just open every once in a while.
Lighter fluid.
weird. The very first 40K book ever written described a Space Marine of the Imperial Fist chapter
Boo! I hate that. That's Imperial Fist.
eating his own shit because like it recycled it so good or whatever that it was then edible in the Space Marine digestion system, can like eat it again and still get nutrients out of it or whatever. So
That's
keep in mind this book is
pretty gross.
old. It's
Got to be retconned at this
it
point.
has to be retconned. But this was the one question that the guys like he asked us because apparently we went on another Space Marine poop tangent. I'm like, no, when would Space Marines pooping ever come up? But now I'm like, okay, yeah,
Apparently, it comes up multiple
apparently
times.
it comes up. But yeah, like so they poop.
Yeah, of
Question
course
of
they
our
do.
times.
And apparently they can eat it.
That doesn't surprise me, though.
No, it doesn't surprise me, but it's just like it's super funny that it was written in a book.
Well, you got to think of like when there's that Iron Man scene where he's like, people always ask me how I go to the bathroom in the suit, and then he like halts for a second, and he's like, just like that, and that's what a Space Marine's gonna do,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's not gonna unstrip his sacred armor.
Yeah, obviously not on weeks of combat. Like,
Right, exactly. So clearly, he must go in there, and it's not
I
like,
don't think they eat it though.
I doubt
Not
it.
anymore.
Maybe in the greatest time of need, but he'd probably just eat his enemies before that.
Exactly. Like,
So you can assume they have the ability to eat it, but they probably do not. I think that's where we can land on it at the most.
wow.
Unless one of you guys has
Way to
another
end
idea.
the episode on a horrible
On
note.
a brown note,
Brown note.
as it were. Anything else you guys want to add before we close up shop?
Yeah, I just have one more thing I want to bring up, and that is our Patreon page. So if
Yes.
you want to be a patron of the Lorehammer podcast, you can go to Patreon
Or a matron?
Or-
Doesn't
yeah.
matter to me.
Or a patron saint.
Yeah,
or non-gender specific.
an atron? I don't know. Who knows?
Anyways, you can go to patreon.com/Lorehammer.
What was that? I didn't catch it. Say it again.
Patreon.com/Lorehammer.
One more time.
Patreon.com/Lorehammer.
I want to hear it in Eric's voice now.
patreon.com/lorehammer.
You wanted me to put
And
some
Paul,
like
let's see what you got. What are you bringing to the table?
Patreon.com/orhammer.ca.
Go to that one. That's the best one.
Yeah. Anyways, if you are interested in supporting us, becoming a supporting listener, feel free to do that. We will. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, we're looking at getting a couple upgrades to our equipment, as it were.
Yeah, like a new host. we're trying to get rid of Eric for a new host.
I'm looking for a vacation to the Bahamas.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, we're
These are
looking
all
at
good
getting like
things.
some like a new mixer if we can, a couple more channels. Some
Yeah, like right
soundproofing
now we're only
storeroom.
working with like a 2-channel thing where it'd be nice to
Yeah.
have a 4-channel mixer.
So really,
Or
just
even
things
more,
that'll
yeah.
or even more, yeah.
yeah, something that will just enhance our ability to give you guys quality podcasts. So
Do a little more sound treating in our studio.
yeah,
Yeah.
so those got lots of things that we have. I call them pipe dreams or crack dreams, as it were, because
yes.
I really only can think about them when I'm on the pipe. You know.
Not that you'll be spending any of your Patreon money.
No, of course not. Of course not.
As he's scratching himself.
Yeah, but that's the whole purpose. I don't know. I feel like there was something else. Oh yeah, we are thinking and looking at doing kind of like a reward for those who are Patreons or patrons or matrons or whoever. We don't have anything nailed down yet. We're thinking about it. Just if you guys are supporting us, we want to show our appreciation for that. So
Yeah,
it's-
besides the, hundreds of hours of content that we're providing, something above and beyond what we've already done.
Okay, tone it down. Tone it down, Mark. We'll get something to eat when we're done. Don't worry. But yeah, but there is we just want to. You guys care about us. We care about you. Scratch my back. I rub your feet. It's all good. It's all there.
Again, the feet thing.
Yeah,
It never leaves.
makes you wonder.
Yeah. Anything else, Jordan, about that?
Yeah, and don't forget to like our page on Facebook or follow us on Twitter.
Review us on iTunes.
Review us
Yeah,
on
we appreciate-
iTunes.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
iTunes.
We're getting a lot on Facebook, and
Yeah.
it's really cool because then we can interface with you. But on iTunes is way more valuable.
gives us a lot more listeners.
Street cred.
Yeah, we kind of get bumped up in the listings and stuff when we get good reviews. Anyways, if you can do that, if you can't give us a good review, then sit down and shut the F up. Okay.
Yeah. You can
don't
send
want
an email to nobodycares@gmail.com.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. You can send it to our
And I'll
regular
put it in
email.
my suggestion box called the garbage can.
Just a little office joke for you.
Yeah. Anyways, we're Facebook, just search Lorehammer, facebook.com/Lorehammer podcast, Twitter at Lorehammer 40K, or Lorehammer 40K. And our email is lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com. So yeah, you can connect with us there and have more of a conversation. So
Yeah. We do lots of that. We do lots of conversating with
Yeah.
people throughout the week.
Yeah. If you're lucky, you might even get into my personal conversations I have with people.
that would be unlucky.
Yeah, exactly. That's like losing the
Unlucky.
lottery. I'm just kidding, Mark. I'm sure people really like you. All right. Well, thank you for listening, guys. Until next time, I'm Eric.
I'm Paul.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Shalom.